Gina, what?
Hmm?
What?
I'm trying to put together this puzzle. All these pieces are different shapes, and there's squares and rectangles and quarter circles, half circles, teardrop shapes, pieces that look like someone took a bite out of a rectangle, um, all kinds of crazy shapes.
Oh, you got it
And
together though. Some of it together already.
I don't know, there's all these pieces, there's different colors, and I don't know how to put it together. And I don't think we've ever gotten this puzzle
No, we didn't.
together. Now, on the other hand, this puzzle came with it, and this one we have put together. And there is more than one solution.
You sure we did? You sure we did? Or
Yes, I'm sure. This
we probably should
puzzle,
have taken a picture of
this
that
puzzle
before.
has half circles, um, triangles, squares, rectangles, and it can be put together in different ways. So where did we get these crazy puzzles? 100 years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, when I began homeschooling my children.
I was paying
That's a
attention to the
cat
cat.
who jumped on my lap. Um, there was this company, and I'm pretty sure it dissolved, but it was connected with Highlights magazine, and it was like having a Tupperware party. And you had people over, and they showed products, and you sold things, and you got points for people who sold things. And I guess that's how we got introduced to the Which Way USA puzzle books, which is a puzzle book created by Highlights. Has each each magazine you get is a different state, and there's different puzzles you have to solve along the way to a final puzzle. And it comes with a map, and one side's a map of the state with different points of interest, and on the other side there's postcards that talk about different places. Um, the inspector traveled. I forget the name of it. Um, but there were a variety of different products. I have a memory of hosting a party at my house. I think the neighbor came and other friends I knew. And I just remember how much fun it was and these cool puzzles we got. And so these puzzles, I'll show you, we packed them up. Don packed them up in cellophane when we moved almost 3 years ago. So it's saran wrapped. These are some of the first puzzles. Um,
Flip it around. He got it upside down.
oh, that we got for our children, our son when he was born. He loved road signs. So this puzzle has stop signs, hospital, work sign, and this is a puzzle. It's a wooden puzzle where the pieces fit in the cutout shape, so it can only go in one space. Um, so we've always loved puzzles, and so Don wrapped these up, and I remember this one um, that I was showing before with all kinds of different shapes, that there was a missing piece. And I want to say we found it after we moved or something. We found one more piece of it. I want to say we were trying to put it together before we packed it up, and it was just packed up with the pieces
Pieces
piled
that were there.
on
Yeah.
top of each other. But over the years, we've enjoyed different puzzles. I know someone gave us a 3D puzzle of a castle one time, and I remember some pieces got lost and we never solved that puzzle. That was a challenging one. So puzzles.
Well, hello. This is Don.
And this is Gina with
With
Focused Healthy Family.
and this is podcast number 239, and I'm calling it Puzzle This because we're going to talk about puzzles and the fun things you can do with them. But first, let's look at a couple of different jokes. Um, first, first one is, why don't puzzles go on vacation?
Why don't puzzles go on vacation? Because they might get lost.
They're always too busy putting the pieces together.
Okay.
Uh, they say they aren't the greatest jokes in the world, but um, then there's this one. Uh, it's a jigsaw puzzle, kind of a long one here, but honey, I made the record for solving jigsaw puzzles, said the wife to her husband. Really? How long did it take you? Responded the husband. I finished in 6 months. That can't be a record, can it? Well, on the box it said from 3 to 6 years.
I never thought about that before. That was a good one.
And well, I'm glad you laughed at that one. I all right. The next one is a Buddhist was struggling to complete his jigsaw puzzle. He just needed to find his inner peace.
Just like the pieces of this puzzle.
Yes.
So, puzzles. I thought it's summertime. Let's talk about something fun. And puzzles are something fun. There's all different kinds of puzzles. I showed some jigsaw puzzles as we started this podcast. If you're listening, you can go to YouTube to watch um,
There's ums in there.
to watch and I thought we'd start. I looked up kind of the definition of a puzzle. This comes from Wikipedia. A puzzle is a game, problem, or toy that tests a person's ingenuity or knowledge. In a puzzle, the solver is expected to put pieces together or take them apart in a logical way in order to find the solution of the puzzle. There are different genres of puzzles, such as crossword puzzles, word search puzzles, number puzzles, relational puzzles, and logic puzzles, along with jigsaw puzzles. So, this article talks about mathematical puzzles, lateral thinking puzzles, chess problem, um, mechanical puzzles, combination puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, puzzle box, paper and pencil puzzles, spot the difference, tour puzzles, where's Waldo? There's all different kinds of puzzles out there, and you can find actual hard puzzles that you can put together, like jigsaw puzzles. And
Well, I can show. I've been doing. Let's see how I got this. These is from Elevate. It's a computer program, and at the very bottom of it, they have different puzzles you can go through. I don't know how I can do this, and you can. I mean, move them along. My favorite. There's this one here, where you have. Let me see if I can.
what's it called?
So you put together, there's different letters and they have to be combined. And there's some of them are very tricky to combine because you've got ones that could cross right in front of them. So you have to learn how to maneuver it around to be able to get all of them together.
In a certain pattern or
It's not really, well, no, the pattern is you got to get them all connected. So the
in alphabetical order?
like there's B here, there's two B's, there's a B.
Oh, you have to match them.
Yeah, and like I said, you have to be careful because you can go straight to it, but you might get another one that you can't crisscross paths with this. And it gets more and more difficult as you go through the program, but it's got crossword puzzles, it's got I think the other one that's on there. But it's a really cool, like I said, that's my favorite part of it. I just started realizing it more and more. I love figuring it out and figuring how to get them so they don't cross each other.
Another fun thing, there's the New York Times puzzles, and they've got, that's where Wordle came from, where you're trying to figure out the word of the day. It's a 5-letter word. You put in letters, it tells you if they're right and if they're in the right place. And we used to be able to do that via an app. And it used to be a way I connected with my kids, my son who wasn't living at home. We'd solve it and it would give you the time it took you to solve it. And we'd try to beat each other with our scores. And then my youngest got involved. And so, of course, she came along and she beat both of us. And we'd do that every day. And it's kind of a fun connecting way. So I found this article, 150 plus puzzle ideas for family fun and game night. And the thing about puzzles is they can be done with a variety of ages of people. Think about seniors, any senior center type of setting that you go to. There's usually a table with puzzles on it, and you show up each week. There's going to be a different puzzle being put together. And I've worked places where each floor had its own puzzle table. And it's the kind of thing that's kind of fun to do either as a group or in passing. Um, and you can do puzzles with young kids. I talked about the puzzle. I'll show it again, that especially wooden puzzles, and these actually have little handles on them, which could also be good for seniors. Um, so you can actually hold it with the little handle in the middle, and each puzzle's a different, each piece is a different shape, and it fits into its space on the board, and it only has one possibility. So we have a collection. These are all road sign related puzzles. And you can do, there can be different sizes of puzzles, right? We all seen jigsaw puzzles, but there's also other ways, of doing puzzles like we've talked about. You can get on a tablet or phone a digital puzzle. And the cool thing about that is you don't have to worry about the cat eating the pieces or losing a piece. And I love how they lock into place when you get them in place. And
Oh, right.
and so that can be a lot of fun. And that's something people of all ages can do as well.
I was thinking about, I was going to put it up here, but the Scrabble is kind of a puzzle, but
Mhm.
putting words together, you know. Let me see if I can get it up here to show you what it looks like. But you know, you can that's an online. I do this. I it's a challenge for me because one of the things we have to think about is as we get older is we have to challenge the mind more often, and that's the kind of thing that puzzles of all different sorts can help you to be able to.
Well, it works on your cognitive skills. So it's
Yeah,
great for people of all ages.
yeah, that's
And
true.
to really grow new neurons, the challenge is doing something new. So every time you try a different kind of puzzle, a new kind of puzzle, it's causing your brain to rewire and form those connections. And so it's good to do different things and new things, things you've never done before. And this can be kind of a fun um, idea for the family. As I was reading through this article, it talked about different kinds of puzzles. My favorite thing I read was a reveal puzzle, where you put a puzzle together and it's like going to tell you where you're going on vacation or something like that. Um,
Okay.
and, to find out some information or something like that. Um, the different pictures with puzzles that you can have. Sorry, I'm flipping through this. And also the fun thing is getting puzzle glue. So that if you complete a puzzle and you want to keep it, you put the
Oh yeah,
glue
we
on
did.
it and a backboard, and then you can hang it up, and now you've got a picture, and it's something you've put together.
We did a couple of those, didn't we? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I want to say there was one with ice cream.
Oh yeah, that
I don't know what
was.
became of that. For kids, floor puzzles, we had a Bob the Builder one. Our daughter, um,
Well,
she
that
would
was a,
lay
and it was a.
down. It was 2 feet. Yeah, it was a 2 feet long cardboard puzzle of Bob the Builder, and she'd lay down on, the full length of it. And so, yeah, large puzzles. We had foam puzzle pieces that you put together. There's so many different types. I mean, we're talking jigsaw puzzles here, but other types of puzzles too that you can do as a family. Solving riddles, murder mystery. We did a murder mystery themed holiday dinner a number of years ago with my family. In fact, I think that was the first time we met my brother's girlfriend, and she had been an actress. So she just joined right in. We had some costumes. Everybody was a different character, and we had to solve,
That's right.
just like a murder mystery dinner theater you'd go to. This was something you purchase, and there was a CD or some kind of recording we listened to along with it. And, it was just a lot of fun to play up the characters and that. Um, you can do puzzles of your favorite movie, books. Um, you can get puzzles created. You can send a picture in. There's different companies that will create it into a puzzle for you. You can have, your kid's face as a puzzle. They can, um, somebody's coming to visit. We don't know who it is until we finish the puzzle. It can be a fun thing to do. And if you're like us and have cats, having a puzzle board or a puzzle drawer to store your puzzle in. Currently, we're borrowing our son's.
It's a nice one too. You have a balloon in there that
It's on a felt
keeps it and you roll
mat.
it up.
Yeah, and then there's a long tube that's just an air that you blow up and you roll it together, and it
Yeah,
works pretty
we were
well.
concerned it was going to bend all that kind, and it really kept it very, very nice. So
We've been slowly working on this. Was a 200-piece puzzle that
well, I think it's more than that,
the
isn't it?
pieces are tiny.
It's
They're
tiny,
so
yeah.
tiny. And it just took us, what, a whole weekend to get the frame outlined of it. And
But we did pull the kids into it. That was
yeah,
kind of fun,
we had, well, the old house, I remember having a puzzle set up in the basement, but that's when we had to worry about the cats. I don't know if we used to cover it with something to keep them from getting into
No,
it.
we had a closing. Remember that it was like a cardboard, square cardboard you could open up. You could do your
Oh,
piece in it,
okay.
and then you closed it up, and we just, I think, just set it to the side.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get those at any
Yeah,
store.
one Christmas I was looking at, they make little tables that it sits on top of a table and it's got drawers for your pieces and it's got a nice little storage area. Jigsaw puzzles can be a lot of fun. And also other kinds of puzzles. My kids got me this for, I don't know what holiday it was, but it's called Myrtle. So it reminds me of Sudoku, but solving a riddle. So there's different levels. I just jumped to the harder level because I was getting kind of bored with the simple level. But there's a who, what, and where. And so it gives you a description. Captain Slate, a real life astronaut, the first woman to travel around the dark side of the moon, and also the first to be suspected of murdering her co-pilot. And then it gives you descriptions of the location, the rooftop garden, a rooftop garden with pigeons, and you can feed the pigeons. Very cool. And the different objects, a glass of poisoned wine. This is your typical glass of poisoned wine, a mystery classic. And then it gives you a grid to help figure out, playing the game Clue. Our kids always, I know our older daughter loved that game. We had a kids Clue version, and there's
We had a
regular.
Harry Potter one, didn't we?
Yeah, I think,
Harry
yeah, that
Potter.
was complicated.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
lots of different Clue games you can play. Um, Sudoku, um, the number puzzle game. Don likes crossword puzzles and playing Scrabble. I've always enjoyed number puzzles myself. Um, I
Well, we have that banana. The show that one behind you is that banana, the puzzle
Oh, this is yeah, bananagrams.
that's a really fun one.
So it's letters, and you get so many letters, and you have to get it all into your own grid and make like a Scrabble grid with all your letters and
But
keep
the neat
going
part
until
about it
they're all gone.
is like an opposite of Scrabble in a way is that you can put words down, but you can change them and rearrange them and do different patterns with them.
This is the newest one I found that it came up as an advertisement. It's called Meow Doku, and there are blocks with different colors. And there is a cat in each row, in each column, in each color. So it's a process of elimination. There's one purple square in the bottom of this, so that's where the cat is. And it's fun. You tap on it, and a little black and white cat appears. Um, and it's been kind of a fun little thing I do on my lunch break, and it gets my brain, thinking and problem solving. And I love the color factor of it. And so, you know, and when you're looking at puzzles with seniors, again, thinking about what they're able to do, you can find classic pictures and things, as a memory, kind of what they've enjoyed, or a family picture, and you can get them in different sizes, different thicknesses. I was looking online, they have easier grip puzzle pieces. So it doesn't have to be childlike, but it can be made simpler as far as the number of pieces you have to put together. I've done this often with patients in my work as an occupational therapist because it includes fine motor skills as well as a cognitive component. Sometimes I do it as a standing activity and it can just be a lot of fun, figuring it out, but having something that doesn't exceed someone's frustration tolerance. And so whether you're looking at puzzles for
or,
kids or
or where that frustration comes in, because with us, we get frustrated after
with
so long
seniors.
of
So when
doing
I
it.
would do one, it's one place I worked, we only had one or two. And depending on the cognitive level of the person, I might put half of it together. Like we would do it together and then I'd slowly let them try to get the other pieces in place. Um, Depending on what they're able to do, you can play around, where do you think this piece goes? And look at these colors. You can give clues and things without solving it for someone, whether it's a senior or a child or anyone trying to work on cognitive skills. Um, there's, different puzzles that help you learn. I mentioned Highlights has Which Way USA puzzle book. So there's one for each of the 52 states in the United States. And I love doing this with my kids, my oldest, who loved signs and maps and all of that. It made it sort of part of our curriculum, so to speak, that we learned about states and we saw the map. And I remember going on trips and try to get the states that connected with where we were traveling to.
Yeah.
And I guess it was a subscription that I signed up for, and we would get random states. And then I found online people reselling ones, and you could get the specific states. I still have those puzzle books.
They're upstairs. Yeah, we got a bunch
I
of
don't
them.
know if I have all 52 states or not. But I just found them so much fun. I love solving, puzzles like that, whether, like this little puzzle book. I can tell it's kind of geared towards kids, but it's still fun. And my kids, I like watching murder mysteries and true crime and fake crime and so I think my son bought that for me, knowing I liked puzzles and murder, combining my two interests together. So it can be a family activity. It can be one of our timeshare resorts we went to had a giant life-size chessboard, and I've seen large, you drop the checkers and
Oh, that, yeah.
vertically connect and try to make your pieces connect together, either, vertically, horizontally, or diagonal. Um, life-size versions of these different games, Jenga. I've been doing this with some of my patients recently. It's a great fine motor skills game where you're trying to pull out pieces without knocking the whole thing over. Um, don't break the ice. Who remembers that game? Um, Trying to tap out pieces of ice without it falling apart. So,
Well, and and step out and do stuff like the searching for things. Like what was the game they'd have a map of where it is. Shoot, my mind's going blank on it. The kids used to play it. Um, oh my
a
God,
map of where it
not a
is.
map, but they would look. I can't explain it now. Now I'm lost.
Okay. That's a puzzle for us to figure
That's
out. Um,
a Pokemon where they would go searching
oh,
for
oh, oh, oh,
Pokemon.
oh, yeah. Things, there can be all different varieties of Pokemon Go. Yeah, going out and looking for Pokemon.
Just takes me a while to get in my mind.
Things to think about before buying puzzles for kids. How old are the puzzle builders? But more importantly, what is their skill level? Um,
Look
what's
for
their experience level?
the 2 to 4 years on the box.
Yes. I never ever thought about that before, but the one we have right now feels like a 2 to 4 years to figure out um,
Figure it out. Yeah.
how long it's going to take us to put that together. Think about where you're going to build puzzles, the space you have. I keep saying I wish we had a puzzle table so we didn't have to keep
Um,
rolling it up and putting it away. The lighting, what's the lighting like? And this are also things to think about with seniors. Do you have sufficient lighting to do this? Think about the budget, how much you want to spend. Thinking about cardboard versus wood or other puzzles. Do you want it to last a while? Um, but you can get puzzles at the dollar store and places like that. Get them inexpensively, even small ones to put in a stocking stuffer. Um, what
Well, I was going
um,
to say most of your on here don't cost that much to be able to,
you can get free
download
puzzle
either.
games on your
Yeah,
phone all the time.
yeah.
Um, 3D puzzles. I grew up with Rubik's Cube. I got my first Rubik's
Oh
Cube. I
my.
don't know if I was second or third grade, but I have a memory of sitting on the swings on recess with my Rubik's Cube. I was probably in third grade. And I know I solved it at least once. I'm not sure if I solved it more than that. And then they came out with snake, all different shapes and sizes of different puzzles that you solve. I know somewhere it was kind of like wooden blocks and you had to figure out how to untangle it. Um,
Yeah. But you also have the metal. Remember the metal with the metal
the metal
things that
rings.
were connected and you had to, like, say, take them apart.
Um, yeah, there was a box or something we bought for somebody trying to figure it out. But yeah, thinking about things people enjoy. If they're into sports, sports team puzzle. Um, if you like flowers, waterfalls, hiking, whatever it is you enjoy, animals, food, finding puzzles with those themes. Our daughter bought us. It's got koalas on it because Don loves koalas, and it's got parrots and a lot of greenery. And when you first look at it, I'm like, oh, this is colorful. And I've managed to put most of the birds together because they're colorful and very frustrated by the greens that are all similar shades. And these are tiny little, they're probably 1 inch
Yeah, they're
square
tiny.
pieces. That we've been challenged by. And I realized it takes patience to do that, right? I'm used to
Mm.
the fast puzzles on your phone and you can get hints and it's quick and it gives you that quick, reinforcement. But taking your time with a slow puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle that takes effort. And we did it. We went away as a family. It was a couple months after my father passed. And we went away to the lake where my parents had lived, and we set up a puzzle. Um, we only had dogs with us, so we didn't have to worry about cats getting into puzzle pieces. And we had this coffee table, and we started the puzzle. And my brother's girlfriend and some of us were just so determined to get that puzzle finished. And I think we got it down to like there was one piece missing. And I want to say when we went home, someone found it either in their clothing or something. Um, but just that determination. We were there for 3 or 4 nights, and it was just fun to kind of work on it intermittently as a group. Individuals would stop and work on the puzzle. And so puzzles can bring people together. Um, they can be used at all different stages of life. The biggest challenge I would think would be someone who visually is impaired and doesn't see well. I'm sure you could probably find textured puzzles.
I was going to say, I wonder if there's puzzles that you can put together.
I need to look that up. Um,
And if somebody out there knows, let us know that too.
I remember I worked on the brain injury unit of the rehab hospital, my first job as an OT, and there were blocks, there were cubes, and each side was part of a puzzle face. So depending on how you turn the blocks, you could solve it. I guess what are there? 6 sides on a cube? There were 6 different puzzles to put together, depending on how the pieces were turned. And so I remember those. I enjoyed doing those and using it as a cognitive training tool to help. And we talk about brain games and challenging our brain and keeping our mind active, whether it's kids who are learning and developing, and um, it helps us grow and mature and learn and keeps our brain active as we're getting older. And we need to exercise those muscles, so to speak. I tell people that all the time. We can exercise our arms and our legs, but we can also exercise our brain. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. So, but it can be fun. You have a rainy day, you're supposed to go somewhere, something gets canceled, go out and buy a puzzle I mean, you can order them online with
Yeah,
different
well,
services. You can have it delivered to you the same day. It can be a fun thing to bring along a family vacation, just in case something gets canceled or rained out, have an indoor activity that can be fun to do. Just see if there's anything else in this article. You know, video game puzzles, Super Mario, Nintendo, um, gardening puzzles, sewing puzzles. Um, I remember I got you a puzzle years ago, and it had classic games like family games like checkers and Chinese checkers, and
well, big round tub that I had.
it had
Yeah, it had. Well, it had the board flip for checkers,
oh no,
flip
I'm
for
talking about a
Chinese.
puzzle that the picture on the puzzle was different games.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I remember
So
that
it
too.
had
I was
like
thinking,
classic games and you
yeah,
had to put the puzzle together that revealed, yeah, these different uh old school kind of games.
because there was, I don't know who gave it to us, but there was that round tin that had, like I said, had checkers and
Oh,
cheesy and all
that was
the
a game, yeah.
so many different puzzles within it.
Think about when you put the last piece of a puzzle in, you're done. Most of the time you are. That is unless you are completing a mystery puzzle, an escape room style puzzle, or one with challenges. Challenges can come in the form of puzzle pieces that fit into more than one spot in the final image that don't exactly match the picture on the box, pictures that have riddles with them, or a picture that solves a mystery. So that's kind of an extra challenge you can have with puzzles. Um, this article talks about doing a mystery puzzle. Oh, and having a puzzle swap. So swapping puzzles with friends or relatives. Um,
Or doing just a big like party with get a group of people, different. You could get multiples and have two different puzzles going. You could have just one where that could get it done quickly, or at least maybe quickly, depending on if I can think of.
what a great, what do you call those games you play when you're in a new setting, whether it's a workshop or um, getting to know you kind of games? I just
Oh,
kind of occurred to me you could even group people by everybody gets a puzzle piece and there's however many groups you need, you put the pieces together to form your groups. That's just occurred to me. Years of doing homeschooling things with other families, that would have been a fun way to divide kids into groups, or adults, or, people of whatever activity you're doing. But yeah, so all things puzzles. So think outside the box. Explore ways that you can have intergenerational puzzle time if it's families getting together. Um, you're going somewhere and your kid's going to be bored because there's no other kids, bringing something like that, to find other people, who enjoy
hmm.
puzzles, and a way of connecting with people over putting a puzzle together.
I mean, you don't really. It's you can get a puzzle that can fit anybody. That doesn't have to go in. When you invite people over, everybody could enjoy a puzzle that's you know flowers or whatever. It doesn't have to be a anyway.
Behind the puzzle pages is our daughter's college essay she's working on for her applications to college.
It
Um,
is. What did you say it was?
you pulled these off the printer, and I found her college essay. She
Oh,
showed me
oh.
a draft of it. She finally allowed me to read it. So all things puzzles. Thanks for joining us today on the Focused Healthy Family podcast. If today's conversation helped you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with someone who might benefit from it. If stress, panic, or overwhelm are becoming part of your daily routine, say you're trying to put a puzzle together, that can be very stressful. Consider exploring Don's EFT Discovery Series. EFT tapping is often described as weird, but
Weird.
wait, it works. Many people start skeptical, but after a few sessions, they're saying, wow, look what EFT has done for me. For wellness tips, caregiving resources, and more episodes, visit us at focusedhealthyfamily.com or focusedhealthyfamilypodcast.com. You can connect with us on social media. We're on Facebook. Our Instagram is Focused Healthy Family 1. Again, you can watch us on YouTube at Focused Healthy Family, as well as listen anywhere you listen to a podcast. New episodes of the Focused Healthy Family podcast are released every Thursday. And don't forget, Don is able to speak to organizations, caregiver group, healthcare teams, and community groups about practical ways to reduce stress and build resilience in caregiving environments. For information about booking Don to speak at your location, please reach out to schedule a presentation or a workshop. And remember, how you speak to your children and your loved ones today shapes their future and yours.